Okay, let's go to Sinem Kosioglu, who's live for us in the Azerbaijan capital, Baku. Sinem, just give us an update about what you're hearing in Baku about the fighting and the diplomatic situation.
Well, yes, the fighting is very intense in the northeast of Nagorno-Karabakh and also down to the south where the Fuzuli district is. And in Baku, everybody is saying that they are not stepping back because they are actually protecting their own lands from what they call occupiers. And I have Azay Guliyev with me. He's the vice chairman of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. He's in the Parliamentary Assembly. Thank you for being with us. I would like to ask you, what are the international efforts from Azerbaijan as international platforms are calling for a ceasefire both to Azerbaijan and Armenia?
Thank you for having me. I think international call for ceasefire is acceptable in terms of implementing the 4 resolutions for the conflict. As you know, that the UN Security Council resolutions have been adopted in 1993 that demand from Armenia to withdraw its military and occupying forces from all the occupied areas of Azerbaijan without any condition. This is why this is the right time for international community once more to make sure that Armenia implements these 4 resolutions. Unfortunately, Armenia ignored so far, and they didn't implement any demands coming from international community. This is first. Second, as you know, that the OEC Minsk Group co-chairs is dealing with the conflict solution and trying to mediate the issue, but unfortunately, neither OEC Minsk Group co-chairs and the other international stakeholders were able to convince and to push Armenia to withdraw its military forces from these areas. And they had an offer to Armenia that at the first stage to withdraw its military forces from the 7 surrounding regions of Azerbaijan that is under the occupation for about 30 years, which doesn't have anything in common with the Nagorno-Karabakh region of Azerbaijan. The third one is, unfortunately, Armenian Prime Minister Pashinyan deliberately undermined the peace talks for the last 2 years, putting forward unacceptable conditions. Firstly, Armenian Prime Minister told that Nagorno-Karabakh is Armenia and full stop, which totally undermines the negotiation, as well as contradicts to the spirit of the peace talks. Secondly, Prime Minister Armenia tries to involve Nagorno-Karabakh as a third party, which is also illegitimate.
I would like to interrupt you here, please, my apologies. I would like to ask you, you're in the Parliamentary Assembly of the OSCE, so what are the member states are telling to Armenia? Because you are saying that Armenia is undermining this international talks. Then what are they saying to Armenia?
International organizations, including the Parliamentary Assembly of the OECPA, very clearly underline that territorial integrity, sovereignty, and the internationally recognized borders of Azerbaijan must be restored. There is no question. They have sent several times signal to Armenia that you have to be in line with these demands because it is the international legal norms, it is the international humanitarian law. Also, call on Armenia to be constructive in the negotiation process. As you know, that Azerbaijan was enough constructive in the negotiation format, in the negotiation talks, but so far these negotiations didn't bring any result.
A very
PA is, and the other international community, PA, and the other organizations are really now calling on Armenia to, withdraw its military forces from the occupied territories. Unfortunately, it is not done.
Just in one sentence, do you think diplomacy is going to resolve this decades-long conflict? Just one sentence, please.
Unfortunately, now it seems a bit difficult because, as you know, Armenia deliberately targeting civilians of Azerbaijan civilians and killing the people in this area. And international diplomacy should understand one thing, that the military clashes, military operations are going in the territory of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan doesn't attack on anybody, including Armenia. If international community and the diplomacy would be enough fair to address issue as it is and call Armenia to stop the aggression against Azerbaijan, then it could be useful and it could work.
Well, it seems international platforms are not promising a ceasefire or a mediation between the two neighboring countries nowadays. But of course, we will be seeing whether this problem is going to be solved in the battlefield or on a diplomacy table.
Sinem, thanks very much. That's Sinem Kasioglu live for us in Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan.